it back for a second. You have the packet. You can make more if you want more than one. You can always make a copy at school. Anything that you want on by email, just send me an email and I will send it to you, like the whole Puss in Boots story in Italian, French, Spanish, whatever, German, sorry. In all the different languages and stuff like that. The Jabberwockies are a little light on here. They're a little bit, the place where I got them is on there, so you can find them. All right, in the languages. Any questions for me before I bring Irene back up? Somebody asked me the name of the DVD. It's called Fat City. FAT stands for frustration, anxiety, and tension. And it's how difficult can this be? And it's a PBS DVD. So, all right. So I'm going to introduce back to you, Professor Marchigiani. Come on, we got to do this. We got to do this.
I can be very insistent. Our next speaker is Brecht. She's the chair for foreign languages at Free Village. And the title, you probably have the program, Reading Comprehension Strategies at Advanced Level. Thank you, Liz.
I'm so glad there's no microphone. But everybody can hear me, right? Oh, yeah. Well, as Professor Marchigiani says, I'm Liz Brecht. I'm from Free Village School District. And I am going to speak to you today about reading comprehension at the higher levels. That is not to say that the things I talk about today cannot be used for the beginning levels. It just has to be accommodated for that level. I'm sure we can all do this. To do this, I'm going to talk about the eighth language and culture, which has new themes that they have given us in this method. We have global challenges, science and technology, contemporary life. If you look at this, I'm not going to read it to you, but if you look at this, you can see that almost everything fits into this. So that we have curriculum that the College Board approves of based on what the individual teachers decide to focus on within those themes. Now, in order to speak to you today, I went to my AP teachers and asked them to give me some of their reading comprehension lessons and strategies and so on. And they're here today. I'd like to introduce to you Mrs. Gisela Muller. She's our AP Spanish teacher at Free Village. Melissa Ransford, who is our French AP teacher at Free Village. Mrs. Michelle McNair, who is our Italian AP teacher. Now, we want students to read different levels of text, and we want them to not only understand, we want them to be able to compare, we want them to be able to discuss, we want them to be able to listen to people speak about this, and we want them to be able to speak about this. In order to do this, we have to think back to their background. When they read in English, do they have no issues? Do they have no problems? When I spoke to my colleagues in the English department, and my first degree was in English, and I was an English teacher first before I got plucked out and put into the foreign language department, thank God. No, they're not having an easy time with it in their own language. They're having a hard time with inference, and they're having a hard time with tonal transitions. They're having a hard time with their vocabulary. But yet, we want them to go into our foreign language and do the same things. Why? Well, because they can. They certainly can. It's up to us to get them there. How are we going to get them there? What strategies are we going to use to get them there? Well, the first thing we have to do is engage them. If we don't have engagement, we can stop right there. We have nothing. So I'm looking around. Can everybody just do me a favor? Could everybody take out their phone? Put your phone on top of the desk instead of underneath. I know you've got one. I see it. Please take out your phone. We're really comfortable with this little thing, aren't we? We kind of have to have it near us. How many of you go like this? Well, you know, our students do too. And I want them to read about it. I want them to know about it. So I need to engage them with it. Let me engage you with it. That's what your phone really looks like. Right there is, yes, these are actual pictures of an iPhone through many microscopes. And this is what's growing on your phone. This picture right here is like the full growth of the microorganisms. You're putting that to your face every day. Like your phone now? Now, would you like to read and find out how that happened and what you can do about it? But before I do that, why don't my colleagues here help you out with some wipes? You had your own? Here, they're going to bring about some wipes that I've roast you out right in front. Okay. Now, when I want students to talk, to read, to listen, I need to engage them. This would probably engage my class. They're not going to really shy away from this reading comprehension that I'm going to give them, which explains how those pictures came to be and explains the study that was done. I'm going to begin by looking at the title. I'm going to use some pre-AP strategies for this. First, I've got engagement. Now, we can move on with the reading comprehension. I can't throw a reading like this one to my students and say, here you are, you've engaged, now good luck. We can't do that. I know you don't. Because when we do that, we can turn them off. This is beyond me. This is Spanish that came from the internet. And I can't handle this. So we have to show them how, yes, you can handle it. When you go to the internet and you read something in English, do you understand every single word? No. Can you find completely everything to your level, to your lexile level? No. Can you still comprehend? Yes. And we can show them how to do that in a foreign language as well. We're going to look at the title first, and I'm going to guide them through that in a pre-AP. We're going to look at what the title is saying to us, what is giving us an idea of what the reading is going to be about. I'm going to pull out some vocabulary words. As our first speaker, I think the chairperson of this department, said, just giving them a list of vocabulary words is not going to be good enough. We need to just pull out the essential. Don't overwhelm them with that. We are going to do a reading of the article. A lot of you who were here when we started the regions, remember teaching reading comprehension for the regions. We didn't say read every line and read every word and you should understand everything. That's not the way we teach. We give one general reading. Get an idea of what's happening. Is this article going to be about outer space or is it about, mom's cooking? You probably can get that. Once you've got that, you can move on to more specific items. At the different levels, there may be different things you want to do with it. Maybe you're looking for a grammar point. Maybe you're going to go through the article. Once you have the general idea of what it is, you're going to look for those grammar points. Grammar in context. Maybe you're going to ask questions related to the different facts. Ask questions that will lead them to inference. Ask questions that will help them with tone. Maybe you're going to ask them to do an activity, summary bullets. There are different activities that you do at the pre-AP level, and they move on to the AP level, but we have to start somewhere. We can't have kids showing up at our AP classes who have never encountered these themes. At their village, we have a program called CDAP, where the students are heading towards that higher level. And so we begin in 10th grade with the themes. We begin at a different level. So everything I'm going to show you now would be done in all of our courses, CDAP, where the teachers accommodate in the different levels. Now, this is really at the heart of it. Yeah, I could have told you all this. You probably forget it. I could teach you about it, and some of you would remember it, but I involved you in it. And there you really learned it. And it's been around for a while. I think he's pretty old. Let's look at one of the lessons that one of my teachers, Mrs. Muller, did. Now, in this lesson, this is actually her work. This is what happened in her classroom, so I wrote it in here for you. She engaged the kids right there. Because who doesn't love cute puppy? Even though that cute puppy was really bad. It was hers. Oh my gosh. Really, really bad. But he's still cute, which is what kept him alive. Now, we're not going to throw out books. Some people would like us to, but we don't have to. And this is a textbook by Wayside Publishing. There's the authors, give them credit. And we do use textbooks. There's no reason why we shouldn't use a textbook. They're professionals who worked in pulling up the right vocabulary, pulling up the right questions. But should we stop there? Not if we want kids to move forward in fluency. We can't just look at the textbook, look at the reading, look at the questions, and now we're done. We have to do more. So for this lesson, which Mrs. Muller began with the textbook, she moved on to finding videos online to give students a multisensory experience, talking about world challenges. The world challenge here is pets. How are pets treated in different countries? What are the issues with animals, with our domestic animals in different countries, not only Spanish-speaking countries, but the United States as well. So students have an opportunity to go to these different sites, look at these different videos, and discuss this. At home, this was the email. So at home, she asked them to go select articles. Now we're in the topic, and what we're doing. We've already done the textbook, we've already discussed it in class. Go home. Go to CNN en vivo. Go to terra.com. Go find articles. You find an article dealing with domestic animals in Spanish. It's real, it's authentic. It's what's actually happening out there in the world. Any Spanish speaker could have pulled that up and read it. And so can our students. Pre-reading, they have to do this at home. They bring in to class an outline, they bring in vocabulary that they felt was needed in order to discuss and to share. How are they going to discuss and share? Well, they're going to do group work. Again, this is all in Spanish because this is the actual lesson that was brought to the students. In the group work, they were sharing their articles with each other. These were predetermined groups. The teacher decided who is going to be basically the leader because she knows who's going to have the more control. I don't know if anybody can think back to a nice little lady called Madeline Hunter. She did all kinds of work with how we prepare groups. And it was something that we still use today, even though wonderful person she has passed on, she left us with some valuable information on teaching. In any case, Mrs. Muller then had them do a list comparing. The discussion had been about animals in the community, in the American community compared to other countries, and students together decided which one of the articles in that group of 4, I think it was, students, which one of those articles represented the most information to be able to discuss with the class. Those students then chose a person who would present this to the class. But they weren't alone to do this. We can't just give students a task and say, okay, go. We have to give them tools. So Mrs. Muller had tools for them. She had a graphic organizer where there were similarities and differences, where each could write and decide what they were going to use. The language was spoken there at our AP levels. There is no English spoken. It is all in the language. The students are in the group speaking the language. Every once in a while they'll cheat, but mostly they're speaking in the language. They had to write. Again, the writing here is set up so that they're set up for our AP test. And it says themes, it says differences and similarities, and it says frases con las expresiones at the very top. It says the expressions. Well, she's referring to a list of expressions that we give our students.